Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome in. Welcome back if you've been here before. If it is your first time, I'm so happy you found us. As always, we are here to soothing the body, the nervous system, and the mind. We will be connecting to the breath, doing some exercises for the vagus nerve, some acupressure, and a bit of self-massage along the way. So this is your practice. Move at your own pace. Listen to your intuition. What feels soothing to someone might not to someone else. So anything that doesn't feel right in your body, just skip it and join in again anytime. Ideally, this practice would be done seated, but you find whatever position is available to you in your body. And let's just begin by warming up our hands a little bit as we will be using them as tools throughout the practice. Let's interlace the fingers and just make some circles, maybe some waves. And then making tight fists with the hands, we're going to extend the fingers with as much power as possible, 10 times in a row. Ready, set, go. And then just shake it out. Shake out any stagnant energy you're ready to release from the body. And let's set the tone today by starting with one exercise for the vagus nerve. We're going to get a little more into the vagus nerve later, but let's just start with one simple one. So taking the pad of the index finger, finding this top groove of the ear and moving to the very front of that groove and beginning to make very gentle circles in one direction. And here we're more thinking about moving the skin around rather than pushing too hard, maybe even already taking a little bit of pressure off. We're just sending some sensory input to the nerve, letting the body know that we are safe and able to relax. Gentle circles in the other direction. Gently releasing, moving on to the other side. Whenever you're ready, always moving at your own pace. Index finger finding the top groove of the ear, moving to the very front of that groove. And again, just very gentle circles in one direction. Very normal if you yawn during these vagus nerve exercises. Circles in the other direction. Gently releasing the hand down and just giving that simple exercise a moment to be received by the body. Okay, let's move on to the physiological inhale. This is a double inhale where we are breathing in through the nose. So a deep inhale through the nose, almost all the way to the top. And then one more little sip of air in, and then exhaling slow and controlled out of the mouth. So double inhale through the nose, big inhale. One more sip of air in, and then exhaling slow and controlled out of the mouth. Two more at your own pace. And returning to the natural breath. Let's take 3 deep inhales. As you inhale, pulling the shoulders up towards the ears, holding for a second, and then dropping the shoulders with a sigh, letting go of any tension. Two more just like that. Inhaling the shoulders up. Drop them with an audible sigh. And one more. And then just rolling the shoulders up and back a couple times, opening up that heart space, getting a bit of a massage from the scapulas into the upper back. All right, let's shut down the eyes if that feels comfortable in your body. And just begin to become aware of the waves of breath. Noticing the characteristics of the breath, the depth, the speed. And then I invite you to place your tongue on the roof of the mouth and inhale for about 4 seconds and exhale for about 6 seconds, making the exhale longer than the inhale. So placing the tongue on the roof of the mouth, inhaling for 4, exhaling for 6. Coming back to the natural breath, shutting down the eyes if they are not already, and bringing your awareness to your eyebrows and your forehead, inviting this space to relax, letting go of any tension that might be located in the eyebrows or forehead. And then inviting that same sense of relaxation to the area around the eyes, into the cheeks, and the area around the mouth, and the entire face, letting the face relax, letting the jaw hang heavy in the mouth, even when the mouth is closed. So, jaw pain and neck pain are the things that I get the most requests about. TMJ issues, tension. So, we are going to work both on the jaw and the neck today as they can play off each other and translate to things, other areas of the body. So, let's begin by just opening the mouth wide, moving the jaw from side to side, feeling into the muscles, noticing any tension. Maybe moving into that tension a little bit. And then we're going to take 2 knuckles just in front of the ear and drag down with some pressure into the muscle just above the jawbone. 2 knuckles, dragging down, thinking of any tension that might be stored there, just melting away, keeping the jaw relaxed as you do this. Moving on to the other side, whenever you're ready, 2 knuckles in front of the ear, dragging down into the muscle, welcoming any tension to melt away. And then let's take the thumbs above the jaw, feeling into this groove there, holding in with a bit of pressure and opening the mouth wide a few times. This can be very tender, especially if you haven't done it before. So moving at your own pace with the right amount of pressure, pushing in with the thumbs, opening the mouth wide a few times. And then let's take the fingertips to just massage around that area. Since we're here, bringing the fingertips to our temples and massaging there, just some loving circles. And gently releasing. All right, let's take the thumb below the chin and we're gonna open the mouth, providing some resistance from the thumb. So you're gonna open for about 4 seconds and then also be applying resistance as you close for about 4 seconds. So with the resistance, opening and closing 4 seconds both ways. You don't want to close quickly. You want to close, keeping that resistance going. Gently releasing, maybe placing the jaw back and forth once more and just feeling into it again. All right, let's move down into our neck, showing our SCM, our sternocleidoid mastoid, some love. So peace fingers on either side of this big, beautiful muscle on the side of the neck. For some people, it's a lot more prominent. So just massaging down either side. And then we're going to walk up the neck twice. So just above the clavicle, the first time, loosely grabbing skin, pulling it away from the neck. And then walking up again, this time we're going to grab the muscle itself, pull away, back and forth a few times, and walking up the neck, doing just that. So here we're really trying to mobilize the muscle. If you've never done this before, again, it can be tender, it can feel a bit sticky. Always moving with whatever pressure feels right, really thinking of getting a grip of the muscle and helping it to mobilize, especially at the top. Once more, little peace finger massage down for good luck. And moving on to the other side. So peace fingers either side of your SCM, massaging down. And then walking up the neck twice. So at first, loosely pulling the skin, making your way up. And then walking up, thinking of really getting a good grip of the muscle, pulling out back and forth a few times, just helping to mobilize. You can involve the head a little bit if that feels right. And if this is the first time and it feels sticky, come back a few times and hopefully some ease will show up. Once more, peace fingers down either side. All right, let's interlace the fingers behind the back. First, you can just stretch into your heart space, lift up the chin, and then bringing the fists to one side. Ideally, they will land on the hip, but wherever they land, and then tucking in the elbow. So we're going to be stretching the neck a little bit here. Be very mindful if this exercise isn't for you. Take some nice breaths and join back in with us after. If it feels okay in your body, fists to the side, tucking in the elbow, and then gently tilting the head towards the side of the fists and breathing into that beautiful stretch. Gently bringing the head back up. Another stretch into your heart space, lifting up the chin, opening up. Fists to the opposite side, tucking in the elbow if it feels okay in your body, tilting the head to that side of the fists and breathing in. Gently bringing the head back up. Maybe one more stretch into the heart space. And we will move on to an acupressure point, GB20, gallbladder 20. So interlacing the fingers again, this time the thumbs down. You're going to cradle the back of the head with the hands, just about where the thumbs land, below the skull, feeling into those two little grooves there, pushing in with some nice pressure and breathing in here. Again, this can be a place that's quite tender. Gallbladder 20 is a great acupressure point for all things to do with the head. So, headaches, congestion, sinus issues, neck pain, just breathing in here, knowing your limits, but also surrendering to what shows up. And you can push with direct pressure. You can make little circles. One more deep breath here. And gently releasing on the next exhale. All right, let's take our whichever hand, one hand to the opposite upper trapezius. And just little freestyle massaging into your upper trap. Maybe you're pulling, maybe you're squeezing, maybe you're massaging in with the fingertips and noticing that this area is really calling for some attention. And then we're going to squeeze, thinking of pulling muscle away from the bone as we make our way down the upper arm and massage all over the upper arm. Same thing on the other side, massaging into your upper trap, whatever pressure, whatever technique feels right. Maybe noticing a difference from one side to the other. And then thinking of squeezing muscle away from bone as you make your way down and all around the upper arm. And then we'll come to our forearms and begin by massaging from elbow to wrist. Again, play around here, see what technique feels right. Maybe twisting, maybe using the thumb, getting into the intra-osseous membrane. The space between the bones can be a really lush place to massage into. Always thinking of squeezing muscle away from bone can be really nice. And then massaging into the palm of the hand, starting with the thumb, massaging into each finger. And a great time to check in. Can I relax my jaw a little bit more? And then coming to the thumb, we're going to grab the tip of the thumb with the index and thumb of the opposite hand and just wiggle in, showing the joints some love. And coming to the other side. So massaging from elbow to wrist, experimenting around what technique feels good, what amount of pressure feels good. And then massaging into the palm of the hand. Starting with the thumb, each finger. And then starting with the thumb, grabbing the tip, giving a nice wiggle, and showing the joints of the finger some love. All right, let's settle in once again, maybe adjusting a little bit into your most comfortable position. We're going to take some deep breaths, inhaling as though sipping through a straw, all the way to the top. Hold for a second or two and exhaling with a deep hum, really feeling into that vibration. Thinking of that hum moving all the way down towards the pelvis. So inhaling as though sipping through a straw. Hold for a second at the top and exhale with a deep hum. Hmm. Few more just like that, moving at your own pace. Hmm. Hmm. Last one, deepest hum yet. Hmm. And coming back to the natural breath. So humming helps to stimulate the vagus nerve. We touched on the vagus nerve a little bit at the beginning. We'll do a few more of these exercises now. And to me, these are the most powerful tools I have to help if I'm feeling overwhelmed or anxious, but also really great to anchor the nervous system in the parasympathetic, in the safe and safety state. So good tools to use when you need them, but also when you're feeling good to help anchor in there. The vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the body. It touches almost every single organ other than the adrenal glands and has effects on a number of systems within the body. And it is responsible for about 70% of the parasympathetic flow, the part of the nervous system that we want to attach to. So, as you can tell, these are my favorite. Take one or two, put them in your toolkit, and yeah, use them anytime, first thing in the morning, before sleep, throughout the day. Let's start by grabbing the ear, getting a good grip of the ear, and pulling directly away from the head. We don't want strain, we don't want pain, but just getting a stretch here. So some exercises for the vagus nerve, we're working directly on the branch. Some are indirect here. We're just loosening up connective tissue around the vagus nerve to help that flow. And just breathing into the stretch, relaxing your jaw, and gently releasing, and then pulling again, this time away and down on an angle away from the skull. And again, just breathing in. And then you can release and kind of pull in all directions, really stretching our ears, which might be a new sensation, but is important. If you are familiar with Chinese medicine, there is so much focus and appreciation of what's going on in our ears. So I invite you to stretch your ears more often, maybe a wiggle for good luck, and moving on to the other side. So getting a good grip of the ear, pulling directly away from the head, and breathing in, relaxing the jaw, noticing what shows up. Gently releasing and then pulling out and down on an angle away from the skull. Once again, breathing in. And gently releasing, stretching in all directions. I always notice a little bit of sleepiness kick in when I'm doing these. And then relaxing the arms down, shutting down the eyes, and just noticing for a couple breaths. Any sensations, any shifting. The magic of these exercises really shows up in this space after by allowing them to integrate, allowing the body to receive. All right, one more exercise for the vagus nerve. Index finger slightly into the ear canal and then pushing towards the back of the skull with just a little bit of pressure. And once again, these very gentle circles, thinking of moving the skin around. This one always makes me yawn. That is the body letting us know that it feels safe and we can relax. So not pushing too hard, and gentle circles in the other direction. I could do this all day, but moving on to the other side, whenever you feel ready, index finger slightly into the ear canal, pushing towards the back of the skull with a little bit of pressure. And once again, very gentle little circles in one direction. And circles in the other direction. Gently releasing and just giving that a moment to sink in. All right, let's move on to a little bit more acupressure. We're going to find CV17. So, locating the base of the sternum bone and then moving up around 4 finger widths and pushing in with the thumb right in the center. You might want to move around a little bit. Notice if somewhere a little extra tender shows up and pushing in there with whatever amount of pressure feels right. So again, base of the sternum, moving up 4 finger widths, pushing in with the thumb. If you could use some more pressure, you can use the other hand and just breathing in here. CV17, conception vessel 17. We are here in the center of the yogic heart space. This is a great acupressure point if you are ever feeling overwhelmed or anxious. This is a tool to help sleep. This is my go-to pressure point if I'm just feeling a bit overwhelmed. And again, you can use direct pressure or you can massage in little circles. Just breathing in here. Relax the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Gently release, maybe massaging in some loving circles. And we were just above the base of the sternum. We're going to move just below now, just under the base of the sternum, just below the xiphoid process. And you're going to massage in all directions, up and down, back and forth, diagonals. We're here at the celiac plexus. This is a powerhouse for blood flow, for lymph flow, for fascia. There's so much that happens right here in our body. So we're just helping to loosen things up, send some love. And then moving just a few finger widths below into our supramesenteric ganglia and doing the exact same thing. Up and down, back and forth angles, really thinking of relaxing the belly. Releasing the hands down. Place one hand over the belly, one hand over the heart, and just breathe. Breathe into the hands. Connect to the breath. Connect to the body. And as you sit here, I invite you to express something you are feeling grateful for today, whatever shows up. Let's take the palms together in front of the heart space, rubbing the fingers together to create some warmth. And then taking the fingertips and massaging first all along the hairline and then all over the scalp. Give yourself a nice massage and gently touching along the entire body. Thank you guys for sitting with me. Thank you for showing up for yourselves. I hope you're feeling a little more calm and have some tools to put into your toolkit